Welcome to Almel Learning. So today, what we're going to see basically is we're going to see what are the different generations working in the workplace. So there are multiple generations working in a workplace currently, even in 2020 era. There is a lot of a new generation is also coming and starting our work. So a lot of perspectives are being added to this. So we're going to see how these generations contribute each and everything, and how this has evolved over a period of time, and what is the general preferences of each and every generations, and how we need to handle these generations is what we want to see across. Right. So when you see there are five generations which is working side by side in 2020. Of course, previously we had only four generations, but right now a new generation is also being added or altered basically to adjust that across. Now, when you talk about five generation, the first generation that we are going to talk about is traditionalist, or sometimes they are often called as veterans. So, why we call them as veterans is these people have majorly fought many wars, and they have seen many great disastrous revolutions. A lot of things is what this generation has tasted in their early days when they're starting at across. But right now, yes, that experience is supporting them. But this generation has faced a major revolution when human has evolved. They have seen many wars, they have many warfares. So they are almost in a kind of are groomed in a kind of an army-based setup. So which makes them more perfect, which makes them more disciplined, more loyal, right? And these people are people who have not had much exposure to any kinds of technology. Very minimal technology is what these people have worked in. And this generation in the current year, if you talk about the 2020 year, almost they are like close to 100 plus years, right? So they are almost above 80 or 75 years of age, which is a great grandfathers kind of that feel they have. These people are needed. If they are There are many people still working in a workplace, so these people are needed to maybe structure it, maybe to have a more disciplined and a controlled work environment. These people have a lot of contribution towards this, right? So that is another perspective on why traditionalist has come into the picture, right? And next, if you talk about, we also talk about the baby boomers. Now, who are these baby boomers? So, baby boomers are people who are born anywhere between 1946 to 1964. These people have seen the second set of revolution, and this is also a generation which first tasted the computer, right? So the first computer, or maybe the first bit of technology where humans started evolving. So these people started tasting that, and they are kind of, so they were not very rigid compared to the traditionalist. These people were a little flexible in how they wanted to work, because they are people who started welcoming a lot of technology, a lot of people interaction was there, and they started to experiment a lot of things, right? So this is the era that you talk about. Many boomers actually had great inventors. So this is the time we had great inventors of modern era, where they have contributed majorly to the many of our invention that the current generation has been using. So these people started that. So they pioneered it. They laid the foundation stone for this basically on that, right? So these are the baby boomers. Of course, these people are very hardworking people. They always trust that. They are not very time bound, but they are giving the heart and soul for the company, and they are a kind of people who like always have the urge to work towards something, right? Then became the third generation, which talks about the generation X. Now, who is the Gen X? If you talk about Generation Z, is anywhere people who are in that 1965 to 76. So these people, as boomers started talking about personal computer, this is the first generation who tasted the internet, right? So they had that kind of that exposure to www, the World Wide Web, came in these people era, and these people have adopted technology slowly in their life, and these people also had a little hesitance in applying certain things and all that. But over a period of time, these people started understanding that yes, technology is the future, and we need to invest a lot of things on that. And they also had the mobile phones which they wanted. So this is generation we started using more portable things. The first portability came in when generation X came into picture, right? And then of course you had the millennials. So millennials are people who were born between 1977 to 97. So these people are almost right now, if you talk about, they're in their early 30s kind of it. And we also call millennials as the working age population. So when you talk about working age population, these people have contributed majorly to the society, and there is a lot of expectation from the whole world that how these people are performing. And right now, if you talk about the current century itself is actually taken by the millennials. So they have a lot of things to be added in what the current system is working in, and they have been a part of very big transition. And when it comes to diversity also, and country like India has a high populations of millennials, and that is one of the reasons that our country is majorly eyed upon. So this is also one kind of setup that needs to be working about. When you talk about millennials, there is another name called Generation Y. So this Gen Y actually are seeing Generation X as their role models and their mentors. So Generation X and Generation Y has a very close relationship where they are working very close to each other, and these two generations have majorly contributed to one of the most innovative, sustainable companies of these future. Many Fortune 500 companies are run by these two generations because the boomers and the traditionalists have actually transitioned into generation X and millennials. So I know many companies are even run by these two generations only. All the top management people, many great minds are actually belonging to this generation. Now, in 2020, there is a new generation which is coming into picture. The first time they are coming into work. This is the first time. 2020 is the first year where these people are coming into the work culture. So they are born after 97. So literally, these people are very young. They're just out of college. They've just finished their graduation. They've just done their studies. So what these people are actually having is these people are like the crawling generations, a kind of a 2000 based people. These people are very optimistic, and they of course have very high expectations because they don't want to be like any of the before generations. So they want to set their own pace, own path. And these people are a kind of more social oriented people. They are more kind of a social network related people. And these people have are working on more on application based, right? So if you talk about mobile, computer, mobile, internet came in, and then they then slowly start a little bit of technology, and then finally they came up with the kind of applications, right? So generation 2020 is the future of the work. So you need to calculate that. So of course we're going to see a lot of videos coming up in our channel, which we're going to discuss about how we can handle this generation Z, this 2020 in that